Hello everybody, welcome to Bass and Bonsai. We are hung up. We're out on the water today and we're not in the house. We're going to do some fishing with our new Steez. We're going to do some cast testing with our new Steez. No, in all seriousness, we've got ice that is melting and it's melted kind of down by the dam. So I may actually see some fishing today, but we're going to get some practice and some little tests in with our new Steez Limited shallow spool. And I got it on a 6.9 medium heavy for chatterbaits just to see what I think of it. So buckle up, hang on, and then hang on for whatever other adventure we're out here today, because it is a beautiful day. Dogs are crazy nuts barking, but anyway, buckle up, hang on. This adventure starts right now. Well, hopefully we're going to start out with just a little, not even with the trailer on it, just a 3/8 ounce bait. Hopefully, oh, that ice is thinned out real thin right there. No ice right here directly in front of us. It's kind of the way it is down there by the dam, but I'm just going to try to see roughly what I think of maybe using this for a chatterbait, but it is a higher speed than I kind of really wanted. 8.5-to-1, you know, fully spooled. I'm going to see if it holds enough 20-pound also. 20-pound braid to get the job done on the shallow spool. I don't even know, so I'm going to cast some long cast, and when I get to a spot where I can retrieve it in and check all that kind of stuff, the resistance. So anyway, right, without further ado, let's make a cast. It's on number 8, which it likes it there with lighter baits. We'll see what it does with heavier baits. Did not like it with that bait. Oh boy. So fully spooled with, well, 20-pound for sure. It's going to want it. Let's go to number 10. Let's get this untangled. So keep that in mind if you're used to running with the less line or whatever. Once you get these babies fully spooled, they definitely require a stiffer brake setting, and they're just harder to get a backlash out of one that's fully spooled. It's like there's less room in there to work with. Anyway, don't worry, I'll get it and I'll be back. Okay, we got that out. Let's try this again. Number 10. Didn't throw it hard as I could, but we definitely have some wind up above us because that thing kind of floated. I probably ought to go get a trailer. So it's getting way out there, and it looks like we're going to have, which I mainly want to check, if I want to run 20, I'm probably going to end up getting 15 putting on this. I could also just put 10 on it and not necessarily fill it all the way, just to run it on the 7-foot medium moderate. All right, let's grab another rod and reel too. All right, well, I went and got a trailer. And just for the fact that I'm using this chatterbait because I have more of them, and it's probably, I guess I'd call it my least favorite skirt material color of the bunch. And this is my least favorite color of the Baby Rage Menace. But if you guys don't know about this, I like these better than the full-size ones just because they let that chatterbait hunt around more at 3/8 ounce one. But you kind of have to put them on these knockoffs or a jackhammer 3/8. You kind of just run, you could run them like sideways to where the profile is basically, you know, more like a fish like this, or I always just run them like that. But you want to run them to where you're just putting about right to there is what I feel is a perfect length to run. That's probably a little too much. No, that's about right. Something like that, to where when you're down here, then the skirt stops right about where the legs or tails start. So now we're going to try this We're not going to catch anything, but now we've got the desired weight that we want to get. So I think 10 is too restricted. So we'll go back to just 9. And this, even more so, the Zillion is kind of the same way, but one little click, you know, one number makes a world of difference on the Daiwa reels. Cannot tell any resistance, and it is definitely thawing out right up against that bank. What are the odds? Right along the edge of ice, some jump up there and grab that bait. I'm going to help it get thawed out. Anyway. I don't think I like 20 pound, to be honest. I think I like 15 pound test. A lot of people talk about how well it's easier to work with and deal with 20. I don't know. I'm just used to 10 and 15 pound braid. 10 for the small stuff, run a smaller leader, and then 15, run a 15 pound P-line original leader, and just call it a day. Now I might, you know, for the, this is a 6.9 medium heavy, I might for that 7 foot heavy stick with 20 for jigs, especially if I start throwing half-ounce jigs, a little bigger hooks, possibly. But I don't know. I bought that whole spool of 20, and I think I'm just going to rig it up on one rod and reel, and that's it. So it'll last a long time. Let's just do another little, get the ice. Hear that noise? And that's why I'm gonna probably be running the Bantam for chatterbaits, majority of chatterbait. You know, yeah, I can still throw it on any of my other T-wing systems, but day in and day out, when you're just throwing the 3/8 chatterbaits, yeah, that ice is gonna be melted here shortly. It is warm today. I almost don't even need this hoodie. Let's try to help break the ice up. You guys hear that? So when you get anywhere about 20 foot or closer and you're reeling that, it's that T-wing is what's doing it. I don't know that I really paid much attention. I don't know. I know for some of you are like, oh, that's no big deal. But for me, for whatever reason, it is. And I don't even, I'm going to try 8 again, because I don't even have to put my, thumb on that thing. It's just brand new line. I don't know, maybe that new line takes a couple casts. Maybe it takes getting wet to, or it's just trailer. I got a little more weight. Oh yeah, that's definitely better. Still didn't really have to put my thumb on it. And I'm also debating, like, do I need to, that stuff's not ready to fish yet. Do I need to get, you know, a few other rods? I'm gonna check that line. I don't know. I would think ice, I guess, can fray your line. You know, I don't know how sharp it gets on the edges as it's melting, but I know if you get stuck and you pull pretty hard, there's no reason why it couldn't cut in. But so far, it seems fine. That's right there, though. I don't want any less than 8 because I can see it almost get to the point of being fluffy. And yeah, although it would be harder, let's say if I were to get a hit, like right when I do this, and I stop and pull. Well, if I got hit, I would keep my thumb on that spool and I would try to set the hook like that, and then I would switch hands. And that's just, sometimes you have to deal with that. But then you can, if you practice, get to the point where on a short little, just flicking it out there, it's hard to be, in my opinion, with the hand you're not used to using, though, it's hard to be accurate. And then you're still almost in an awkward position to, you know, have to worry about, oh, that sucked. Now, ideally, when you're not aiming 100%, you can have the hand switched as it, you know, just before, as it's hitting the water. See how that thing jumps around? I don't know if any of that came through that camera, but I'm gonna save that footage. I want to show you guys something real quick. I actually have a little too much line on here for the fact, and I'll show you some of these T-wings. If you come up and it's right there going in, and that's about, but normally I would cast probably like that much. Like sometimes when I'm trying real tight stuff, I want to bring it up almost to the tip. So I actually have this leader a little too long, because you can run in that point that coming in or out, when it's right there, it'll stick, you know, with a thicker line on a T-wing. That's one downside. A lot of guys will talk about a T-wing they don't like, but in my opinion, it's not that big a deal, because like if I was really going out to fish right now, I would actually just, and it would probably, all it would take was to cut that, retie it, and then the excess that you cut off would let you be able to reel this. So you almost want to make sure your leaders are no longer than the length of the rod, to where if you reeled it almost to the tip, it's not going to go inside. This one, when I put it on just today, I usually use the arm span of my arm, and I was just a little too long for this 6'9". As you can see, this reel, and I guess if you guys can see out there, I don't know if you can tell how slow that thing's going, but a lot of people say it's like hard to slow down, you know, use a 6.3 to 1 because it forces you to slow down. If you get the feel of a chatterbait when it's chattering and that speed it's going, if you get used to whatever speed reel you have, it's not that hard to slow down. You know, this is 8.5 to 1. I don't know if you know see how slow. Oh wow, it's going so slow it's cracking the ice, but you know, you get in a rhythm just to where that chattering's going. So I'll try to show you like this way. So I'm going to try to get it out there, and I'm just, you know, just chattering, and then I'll pop it every once in a while. But I feel I have more control, and I can catch up on fish going faster. Now I do like a little bit slower than 8.5 to 1 for like the, you know, just general usage. But I mean, if all you had is 8.5 to 1s, you can still go out and fish moving baits without an issue. Because one other thing I also feel is I can't get as much of a, when I do like a one crank fast, the faster speed, like 7 something or up, that one crank gives it a faster, harder dart, to where if you're going, you got too slow of a cranking type reel, you can, you know, kind of crank it, but it doesn't necessarily give it as much jump as what you would be wanting, in my opinion. So like I don't have to give it as much of a, so I can only give it like a half a, you know, from up to back, just give it a little pop, and it makes the bait do more. I guess some of you could argue, well, maybe you don't want it to do that much. You want to give it a little pop, but not that much pop, kind of thing. Anyway, that's kind of my take on the speed of retrieve, and I don't really like anything slower than somewhere in the 7s. I've kind of gotten away. I don't know when the last time I used anything that I would consider 6.3, 6.8, other than some of these old Daiwas I've just been playing with. But back when I was using them, I don't know, I always felt like you feel like you have that want or need to go faster. I'm just going to give it a buzz a few times and just see what kind of distance I can get today with this thing. So that is not going, whoa, we're pushing the limits on 20-pound line too. So I think when I was out here before, was I using 20 or 15-pound test? I would call it dead wind though, right at this moment. I don't see any treetops going or nothing. Let me do another cast. Out of the way, that cast sucked. Hit the edge of the bank. Almost feels like it needs to be turned down another turn, but I feel it's already starting to fluff. I'm just, by what I'm seeing right now, you can go out and fish with 20-pound on this thing, but 20-pound braid, but I'm not digging it. I'm thinking stick with 15-pound braid, or probably 10 to, I don't know if you could get enough 12-pound fluoro or something on this thing maybe. All right, let's try something different. Okay, switch baits, rods, and all. This is the 1/2 ounce, and I just put this little frog deal on it just to give me something that has a little more, what I consider anyway, a little more wind resistance than the so that's the Z-Man frogs, but it's got, and I don't know, maybe it doesn't have any more wind resistance than that Baby Rage Menace or resistance in the water. But we now have the 7-foot heavy out with the Zillion with our Lose 95 millimeter. I better check this setting on this thing. It's on 6. Let's leave it on 6. I think I should be able to go down to 4, but you never know. Yeah, I can definitely go down. I'll go down to 4 right off the bat. 2 clicks. So I'm trying to get used to, like this might be the Zillion on this with the 20-pound fully spooled for, you know, jigs, possible chatterbaits also, but then for mainly for coming out and throwing, you know, a jig, something where I'm going to be kind of doing this. That's why I've got this crazy amount of weight to balance it. So I can be out here, should be able to help me overall day of fishing instead of having a tip heavy rod. Really, once you get out here fishing, the 95 doesn't feel that much different. I don't think it'd be a problem. Them knobs feel excellent. Oh, same kind of thing, even though you got a faster reel, 95 millimeter handle. Now this thing, it's a 1/2 ounce with that bigger trailer. It, you know, barely reeling it, it should get down, be running deeper at the same speed as a 3/8. It won't. It'll still jump when you twitch it, but it's mainly jumping up. It's not jumping as much side to side. But yeah, this, if you're wanting to get like max distance out on bigger areas, the 1/2 ounce chatterbait with the trailer on a little heavier, actually probably even a heavy action or longer, medium heavy, then you just have to double check your hookup ratios though, as far as, but you guys do know how to set the hook, right? Kind of a side sweeping. I agree on everything Brett Height talks about, other than the kind of choice in line and rod, and I may try his system, but I do believe that you don't want a popping straight up hook set. You want to, you know, when you're with the chatterbait, typically you want to try to be coming in with the rod not really down like this, but kind of at an angle where the rod's already got almost a little bit of a bow, because sometimes that'll help you tell what's going on by seeing it, feeling it, whatever. If you're coming straight at yourself, you're kind of giving away some of the feel and the look and everything of what you're messing with. So like at this, if I'm coming in just aiming at it, I'm kind of giving away some stuff, in my opinion. Yeah, you might have longer to sweep or whatever, but I like to try to get it out there and have the rod already almost kind of sideways, and then you just kind of continue into a pull, you know, like you kind of let that rod, feel the weight. I'll try to see if it catches eyes. Feel the weight, and then when rod starts to do that, then just kind of pull. Oh, we pull the whole thing. You know, pull into that thing, and then if you have, technically this drag is loose. I haven't messed with the drags yet to get them reset for the season, basically, but you're basically getting that blade, making sure it's clear. I don't know if you can see that when it comes up and over the ice, the blade actually comes up and so it's open as far as it can go. Then when you pull harder, it's out of the way and it's opened up. If you guys can see that, like on the ice. So when you pull it and you feel it load, that blade should be out like that. So when you pull, it should send that hook up into the fish's mouth better, further back than if you do a pop and it kind of almost like a can opener thing. It can pop up, push itself away from the mouth, even if its mouth is closed, and you're basically rubbing on this side of the mouth, not the side you need to get the hook on, until as you're pulling it further and further out of his mouth before it gets a decent set. So you're robbing your chances of getting a better hook set if you just do almost like a worm or jerk bait type, you know, pop it. You're better off to sweep and kind of pull into it, but you want to pull hard. You don't want to do it necessarily like a you know, if you're just doing a crankbait kind of deal, kind of like that, but a little more aggressive, I guess. But yeah, I have no idea how much of this footage I'm going to keep in. I don't know. I was wondering about these handles, and I can't really tell until I get a full, you know, using them for like cranking. But if I'm going to have this just as my, you know, jig, so if I'm basically going to throw this thing out, let it get to the bottom, and then, you know, this kind of thing. Then if I do need that extra, not that it gives you a ton more, but an extra little cranking deal, this handle would be the probably better option. It does feel real good. I think it goes pretty good with that. And it'll double as my, you know, if I feel like there's a, not that I can't use a 6'9", but if I feel like I need to go a little slower, a little deeper with my chatterbaits, this is actually probably as good, if not better, probably for the 1/2 ounce than the 6'9" medium heavy, that 7 foot heavy, because it still has it still is kind of a, they call that, I think they even call it extra fast. What do they call this? Extra fast. I do not call that tip extra fast. You guys comment if you think. I mean, I'd call that fast, but barely. It's strong because it's heavy. It takes a lot to get it to there, but I'd call that you know, almost a mid, between a fast and a moderate, in my own opinion, because that bend goes way down into third, almost fourth or so before it really kind of starts bending. But yeah, I don't call that extra fast by far, which lends itself good for chatterbaits. Maybe not so much as jigs, but I think the heavy part of it and the fact that, you know, 7 foot for me anyway, I plan on not, you know, jacking around as much on the hook set. So, but it's one of those things we'll have to see. It's fine for the littler, the finesse jigs I've already used. I've already caught fish on it last year, but I do plan on throwing some half ounce. You know, I'm probably going to get the fluorescent fluoro hack attack ones, you know, the ones that aren't as big a hook as the regular 1/2 ounce hack attacks, and then kind of the equivalent to that. But I may get some of the 1/2 ounce Denny Brower structure ones. Those don't look bad, and I may mess with a couple different dirty jigs. I don't know, and we'll just have to try it then if I do get any of those, and if I feel like I'm not getting good hook sets. I definitely don't want to go any heavier than this in any of my fishing. This is a 2-pound bass. It's game over. Like, you just almost reel them up like you do dinks with anything else you're fishing with. So I do still have a little bit of me wanting to do that, you know, catch the biggest bass possible on the smallest rod and reel combo, basically. But if I am going to be in a tournament, I don't want to give any advantage to the fish. I want to still have fun, but I want to catch them. I don't want to feel like I, you know, didn't have a stiff enough rod to get a good hook set on whatever bait I'm using. And then I don't want to be limited on what baits I'm using because I'm not dealing with a stiff enough rod. So as of now, that's as stout as it gets. 20-pound braid to as of now, it's still a 15-pound leader, but it'd probably be a 20-pound P-line original leader or straight braid on given times. And then my 6'9" medium heavy will be the 15-pound braid to 15-pound leader. And then probably stick with that even on the medium moderate. And then I'll go down to 10 on the medium light. All right, one last though. I'm going fishing, but before I do, I still got a little bit of testing. It's hard to make myself sit here and stick with just getting a feel of the different stuff I wanted to figure out. But now we have our medium moderate with the Bantam. Now I don't really intend to Bantam for this, but I just figured I would at least have it rigged up and try it. And so I'm just going to stick with this 3/8 ounce chatterbait that I still may throw on this rod just to try it, because if you remember right, I did use it last year. And it's a very forgiving rod for sure, but I plan on this being my kind of all around everything. If I feel I'm on a good moving bite, I'm not really needing soft plastic, slowing down, jigs, that kind of stuff, and it could be, you know, used for a smaller size chatterbait than the others I'm using, just to have it rigged up and ready. But then it could also go and be my shaky head rod. So I'm thinking I might go with the Steez on this thing, 15-pound. That's whoa, and I may switch them and just try it here before I get out of here today. But since I still want that 6'9" medium heavy to be my all-around chatterbait, my 3/8 is ones I'm going to be throwing the most. I feel they get bit more than any of the others when they can dance around a little bit. That ice melting more and more, but I'll probably put that on the 6'9" because it doesn't make that chattering noise, right? For the majority of the time, that's why I'll stick with the Shimano over a T-wing system. Not that there's probably anything wrong with any other part of it, but then for this rod, because I would almost consider the 6'9" medium heavy. I may even buy another one, because that is a good all-around rod too. But I think the 7-foot medium moderate may be that better, you know, half-ounce treble, and then almost anything lighter also works, just in the fact that it's stouter than the medium light and the Teton light, but it's got almost as much flex as far as the forgiveness of so I think, I don't know, I just think that it may end up being, if I utilize it like I plan on it, my best all around everything rod. So that's probably where I'll end up with that Steez. Will be on this, and I may switch them around here today, put this on the 6'9". I just wanted to try them swapped and see. Now I already tell you, just that noise of that chattering when that chatterbait comes in, the Steez and the Zillion are probably out as all around, or not as all around, but out as a it's almost a dedicated chatterbait rod, because you guys know I throw chatterbaits more than anything. That water's, which today it's not going to be doing any good, because the water temp, as you can tell, is probably just over freezing, 32 to 6 degrees probably. The about 55 and up is one of full size. Now 45 to 50, I feel I can still catch them on those little micros and minis and different, you know, real finessey chatterbaiting. But it takes about 55 degrees and up. I feel that anytime over that you can get on chatterbait. Maybe a certain time of day, certain whatever, but they can be caught on chatterbait. Especially if you have grass. You have grass, it's game over. I'm just seeing how But I kind of, though, I think that maybe whatever reel I have on this, I want to go slower. So I'm almost tempted to run the, I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Because I almost feel like maybe 8 5-to-1 on this I may not like. So, but if I run 15-pound braid, I may be able to not fill the shallow spool up all the way, which will let it be easier for the when I go lighter. But as long as I, you know, come out here with 15-pound test and can cast to the just past the end of that point, I'm not going to throw, I don't think I'm going to throw 3/4 ounce type stuff on this. This will be 3/8 ounce chatterbaits with the trailer, probably about a half ounce. Everything else, I don't know about jerk baits, but like rattle traps down to the 3/8 ounce rattle traps, 1/4 ounce possibly if I throw those much. I'm sure I could get away with the mini chatterbaits. I don't know about the micros on this. Yeah, I could actually probably throw it. I'd be better off though with the medium light, more than likely. So as we're checking this, what was I throwing yesterday? I had to go, I'm actually got this set stiffer than I had it yesterday. Because I think almost 3 is where I think I can have it with this weight. I'm going to try it. I was throwing that, what were we trying, the worm? Yeah, it flickered. Yeah, that freed it up some. I'll try to leave it there right at 3 with the little bit of wind we got. And there is definitely a noise there. I may try to take this apart and add the, I'll probably wait till the drag clicker comes. When I add the drag clicker, I'll re-grease it with that good Daiwa grease and re-oil the bearings with that Lucas stuff just to see if that, hear that noise. But like once I'm, if you can tell, once I'm out here, like it'll be for chatterbaits and I'm typically doing this, I can't hear any of that. It's when I'm, you know, crazy cranking it up fast, it kind of does get into that little whiny noise. Yeah, that is right there close on the verge. We're still not getting distance today for whatever reason. Can't quite get out to that point. Probably this 20-pound line, but I thought we had, did we not have 20-pound line the last time we were out here doing all that? I know we didn't with the Arise in them. That's about, these are all getting about the same distance. A half ounce definitely gets you more distance by a little bit, but not really enough to go, oh, I want to throw a half ounce because I need the extra distance most of the time. It's usually about the retrieve speed and depth, that kind of thing is where I would pick one weight over the other, not necessarily like, oh, I need to get 3 more foot. I'm usually in the boat and we just hit the troll motor, scoot on up, right? What's weird is like I hear that noise when there's no pull on it. So it's almost like a free noise, like when there's no weight. It's like once you add, I don't know if because I'm hearing noise of the braid kicks in then or what, but whatever happens, it drowns out the, that geary noise doesn't, when the baits are in the water, it doesn't seem to do it, which is a good thing for me. Okay, we came back home. I've got the Steez Limited now is on the 7-foot medium moderate. I put the Bantam back on the 6'9" medium heavy. So this is what, unless I find a better reel for the job, I'm putting a drag clicker in it. And honestly, if I find a better reel, it would probably be another Shimano. It would probably be the either a DC reel. It'd be the SLX DCXT, or just the older Corrado DC in the 150, not the new 200. Just the smaller, the older and the smaller one still. So yeah, this rod and reel combo, I think, is just going to be what I'm going to like for that 3/8. What is my favorite thing to fish. Not necessarily my favorite reel, but I'll be honest, my favorite reel just doesn't seem to. So I don't know if you guys can hear that, or the lack of hearing that. When I bring a chatterbait back, I don't get that noise, you know. So if you're out all day, now I know a DC reel. Thought about trying another one, just see if I can get used to that whine. One thing I love about the Steez, even over this reel is not really that loud casting, but you can hear it when it casts. That Steez is insanely quiet. It's the only other reel that's that quiet is the new Aldebaran. It's not casting as, you know, it's not ramping up as hard because it's throwing lighter baits, but that new Aldebaran 22 is a crazy quiet and efficient casting machine. That's how I kind of consider that new Steez. Oh, I got something. Oh, I got a tree pounder, guys. Told you guys this is my lucky rod and reel combo, right? If you guys remember the ordeal I had with this Bantam, unboxing it and all the issues it had, like whoever owned it before was not that they neglected it. I don't think they knew how to take care of anything. I think they were definitely a newbie to the deal. So anyway, I'm trying to cast it right along that bank. Oh. Boy, if I caught a big bass, ooh, doggy. Of course, we ain't gonna have no drag clicking going on. I don't even know how tight this drag. Probably needs to be a little bit tighter. Go a little faster through there since once it get bogged up a lot. But I have all intentions, if I get a hit, I'm not pulling up, I'm gonna that way. Oh, too far over. Let's break the ice. That ice is going away. I bet you it's probably need to go get that jig right out, get a jig on it, and go around here just soaking one little bit, or a worm, or very small. I don't mean a regular jig, a very small jig, or a TRD. I could rig up that medium moderate with the drop shot, actually go around just playing around with it now that I got the Steez on it. So yeah, we get all the distance we need for fishing. Got a good, fairly quiet retrieve. I definitely wouldn't want this reel as my on the jig type deal, I don't think. Oh, I got one. What's a monster, guys? Well, I'm gonna go try to retrieve this and save that bait. Well, I made it to it. I haven't saved it yet. There it goes. Well, while we're here, there ain't much room to cast anywhere else, but it's kind of, whoa. Thought I heard a snake move behind me. There ain't no snakes out. Don't worry, Matt, don't jump. There ain't no snakes. All right, that's a wrap. I'm done. I'm out of here. Nothing's biting. I kind of figured out what I wanted to figure out. We're gonna reconfigure a few things, and you'll go see the finished product probably in a live stream the next time you see me, more than likely. Anyway, guys, get out, go bass bonsai, but whatever you do, make sure you have fun doing it. I gotta go get ready and go to the gym.